Hello, everybody. Good evening to you. And it's something of a seismic evening in English football. Arsenal are league champions for the first time in 22 years. The Gunners have done it. They've sealed the deal. Lots of near misses under Mikel Arteta in recent seasons, but this time they top the lot. It's been sealed, of course, because Arsenal last night beat Burnley 1-0. You will hopefully have seen that I covered that game live from the stadium with a special report that I put on my Twitter feed and also here on my Talking Football with Nick Metcalf YouTube channel. And then the other side of the equation was that Manchester City had to beat Bournemouth tonight on the South Coast to keep the race alive. They couldn't do that. The game finished in a 1-1 draw, and Arsenal are the champions. A marquee club, a famous club in English football, they get their hands on a 14th league title. And I say congratulations to Arsenal, to Mikel Arteta, to the players, the staff, everybody at the club. I was thinking, Manchester United and Liverpool top the pile with 20 league titles, and how many would they have won since Arsenal won their last one before this 22 years ago? I reckon it's United 5 and Liverpool 2. So that just shows it's got away from Arsenal. But listen, they move a step closer, 6 behind now, the top two, with this 14th league title. And those three clubs, Liverpool, United and Arsenal, are very much the top three in terms of leagues won. Well, I've got to say, I am hearing quite a lot of sniping towards Arsenal and their style, their perceived style, not even perceived, their style. We can all see it. Look, what I would say is, and Arsenal historians, please do correct me on this, I've never considered that Arsenal have a reputation across their whole history of always playing a very entertaining brand of stylish football. I mean, they had great teams, of course, under Herbert Chapman in the 1930s. They were tremendous teams. The 1950s teams, from what I've always been told, were pretty uncompromising physical teams. I don't think the famous double winning team of 70-71 was particularly known for its artistry. I could speak for the George Graham teams. I grew up watching them, and they had some marvellous players. They could turn it on their day, but it was often a prosaic kind of style and approach. That's where 1-0 to the Arsenal, that famous phrase known throughout football, was really born in those years. The Arsene Wenger years were in many ways an outlier in Arsenal history. Those teams, of course, were wonderful to watch, fabulous on the eye, particularly the teams from the 97-98 double up until the Invincibles of 03-04, which is amazing. The last time they won the league before this success. They played some great stuff. But as I say, that felt in a way like an outlier. Look, I don't think Arsenal are the prettiest team I've ever seen. That they don't always play a marvellous brand. They have done on their day this season, but, they rely a lot on set pieces. Having said that, it's up to other clubs to deal with it. I mean, again, maybe unfair to talk about Burnley, obviously one of the worst teams in the division. They're going down. But again, at the game last night, little corner dinked over, bang, header. I mean, it's not rocket science. Corners have been around in football for a long time. It's really up for other teams to suss out what Arsenal are doing and their approach to set pieces, which is obviously very successful for them. The other thing I would say is that I would take the sniping a bit more seriously if rival fans didn't always do it, or nearly always do it, over league winners. It's that word copium. You feel like it's the way of coping. I remember that Manchester United's leagues under Sir Alex Ferguson in 10, 11 and 12, 13. You got an awful lot of, it's a poor league, the other teams aren't playing well. Listen, I don't think they are outstanding United teams. I don't think they were among the very best teams that Sir Alex Ferguson had in his time there at all. But they still won the league by 9 points and 11 points, respectively, in those seasons. So I do think you get a lot of that. I seem to remember, although nearly everybody in football and the watching world loved the Leicester miracle, there was quite a lot of talk of, it was a weak season. All the other big contenders were in transitional periods or not playing well. I think Conte's Chelsea got a bit of that when they won the league. There was a bit of sort of COVID talk around the Liverpool title win under Jurgen Klopp and then the City win the year after. It's just the way it happens now. It seems to be that rival fans will spend all season sort of saying this team and that team are rubbish and playing down what they do. I always remember in the 04-05 season, throughout the season, United fans were quite guilty of this, other fans too. Liverpool are rubbish, and ruder words than that, of course. They can't do anything, they're no good. All the way up to them winning the European Cup in Istanbul. If that's copium, then it's the poor form of it for me. Labelling another team as rubbish. I don't think it was an outstanding Liverpool team in their history, but they won the European Cup. And if that makes you feel better, saying this and that about a team before a big triumph, and even when they get one, it just doesn't for me. That's not the way I'm made. And look, the way I see it is that Arsenal fans that are gathering tonight in North London, around the Emirates and other places, they will not give a hoot what people are saying about their triumphs. Look, speaking as someone that saw their team win quite a lot of league titles and has been lucky to see that, it's always massively special. You don't really differentiate. There might be a case for saying that the very, very, very exciting title races with other great teams, you do appreciate them as something maybe that tiny bit extra special. For example, United winning the league in 97-8 against a brilliant Arsene Wenger team, or maybe for Liverpool when they won the league under Jurgen Klopp, because they knew it was in the middle of a brilliant City era of success and their great sides. City as well, when they were winning it, when Liverpool also had amazing points totals and came second, that must have felt special. So I get that, but at the end of the day, a title wins a title win, and Arsenal fans will rightly be relishing it and enjoying it. It's obviously been a seismic week in English football, with news that Pep Guardiola is leaving Manchester City. There's an awful lot of, shady stuff and immoral stuff in the Manchester City story. But you can't deny Pep's absolute brilliance. He's been outstanding, one of the great managers in the history of English football. I really do urge you to read the likes of Nick Harris, Miguel Delaney, because the way I see it, it's very easy to write glowing pieces about Pep and, rightly hailing his achievements, but without the darker side. Yeah, nice flowery words, but that's tomorrow's fish and chip paper. But to write about the other side of the City story and the Pep story takes rigour, hard work, discipline, and yes, integrity. So I really urge you to write and see the likes of, what Miguel's saying, what Nick's saying, and also Dan Rowan, I know, has written a piece for the BBC website, which I welcome, a bit again about the various charges that have been laid at City's door and the general allegations of the whole business of this City success story being a big sports washing project. That's an important part of the story, and that's been put out there by various journalists. I really do appreciate that. I think that should be said. So that's about it then in terms of the domestic season for me. I think I'll probably go and do it all again next season. I don't feel like I've got a lot of energy right now, but after a good rest, I'm sure I'll probably be back. Thank you so much for reading my stuff, for listening, and particularly for watching. I know these videos of something I love doing across my social media channels and here on Talking Football with Nick Metcalfe. Thank you for your company throughout. It's much appreciated. And obviously, there are some big games to come, not least the relegation battle going to the final day. So I say enjoy that. If you support one of the two teams involved, you won't, but otherwise you might be able to. And of course, for the first time, 3 English clubs are in all three European club finals. One thing on Arsenal, I mean, I have to say, this is a great night for them, and I congratulate them and already have done and all that. But I'm already hearing from some of their fans it's like a bonus It's not a bonus. It's a European Cup final to win in Budapest. Yes, Arsenal are second favourites. Yes, I expect Paris Saint-Germain to win, but by no means am I certain about that. These are profound moments in the history of the club. This is not a bonus or just a nice match to win or a chance to go out to Budapest and see the sights. No, it's a European Cup final. It will be profound in the history of Arsenal. It will change the way I see that club if they win it. So it's massive and must be treated like that. I remember when Arsenal were in Paris for the final 20 years ago, far too much sort of gawping around Paris. Look at us, we're here. No. Budapest is massive for the club. It's all out. It's got to be eyes on the prize. Never mind you just won the league. This is the European Cup final. It's massive, not just some bonus and a big night out and all that. No. It's not Kidderminster Harriers here. It's Arsenal. It's a massive game to come. That's it. Thanks for your company throughout recent days and throughout the season. Once again, the big story is that Arsenal, for the first time in more than 2 decades, are the champions. This is your old friend Nick Metcalfe saying, cheerio for now.